Have you ever noticed how read receipts seem so small? Just a check mark or the word seen. But they quietly change how relationships work. It's not just about knowing, okay, cool, someone read my message. It's about exposing the private act of waiting, turning it into this like public scoreboard. First, it feels kind of useful. Then it starts shaping trust. And eventually it decides who holds the power in this conversation. Come along. Today we're going to unpack this notion of read receipts. We all know the relief of seeing that the message has been read, but we also know all too well that those blue ticks and no reply kind of stings a little bit, no? So it's a little bit later in the day now. I have actually got 2 courses that I'm going to today. Well, the second half of the day is not really a course, but my day is pretty disrupted in terms of me sitting behind a computer. But anyway, should be good to chat about some different things, I guess. But this is important. Let's talk about read receipts. Okay? They're meant to help. They're meant to provide clarity. My dad always said that communication only happens when both parties acknowledge that it has happened. And there's something in that, because when it turns blue or it's seen, it's almost like the other person has, I guess, seen it. So communication has happened, acknowledgement exists. And it takes away the wondering, did they receive the message, where did it go? Obviously there's caveats to that, but the general way of it is this. And it's tidy, it's kind of efficient, and it's a little bit reassuring. Okay, cool, my mom made my message, hopefully she'll get back to me. But it gets a little bit weirder when we think about it. So let me go to my course and I'll explain later. Okay, so I have a little bit of an intermission in the course now, and we need to continue our discussion of read receipts. So earlier we just spoke about how they are there for some sort of reassurance, and that's quite efficient. But they don't just show delivery, they show behavior. Your pauses, your delays, your decisions not to reply are now visible to others. The silence, or the choice of silence, is no longer private. And there's something weird about that. Vote for the top 2 that you would like to talk about. So, course 1 is done. It was all right. Not too bad, to be honest with you, but I'm a bit tired, I'm not going to lie. But I don't want to zoom in. I want to go up. I'm a bit tired, but that's okay. We have half an hour in between, so we need to head to the next stop. But I thought while I'm here, we got to talk about the next slightly weird thing that happens with read receipts. Earlier we spoke about how this silence, or this waiting, is no longer private anymore. And this visibility to show others shifts power. So replying too fast can feel needy. Too slow can feel quite dismissive. And I am a culprit of that, and it's not my intention, but it happens. Relationships quietly become negotiations around timing. Seen receipts make this waiting into a test of loyalty, care, or even interest. Even if it's not your intention, you know it exists. We're not ignorant to this world anymore. Anyway, I need to hurry to get to the next course, so I'll probably check you after it. Okay, we are done with courses for the day, but it is currently 2 o'clock, which means the day is not over, which means we still have work to do. But before I continue with my work, there is something that we still need to chat about, and that's this weird airy layer that exists on these read receipts. So earlier we said that this like last scene almost like instantiates this weird power game that we all know kind of exists. Now, over time, this feature rewrites intimacy itself. And hear me out. You know I don't like using that word too loosely, but attention becomes measurable. Love kind of becomes time-stamped. And trust becomes incredibly fragile because technology keeps receipts of things sometimes we would love to have been forgotten. And I guess that's a quiet cost of convenience in this day and age where our large majority of communication is not just in person but technological and involves language. It's weird. Anyway, let me get back to work. Good evening. It's time we get into our thought experiment. It's a simple one. It's a question I'm going to pose to you about an alternative, I guess, reality and how we would react. So it goes as follows. What if every glance you gave someone's face came with a permanent record? Proof that you looked at them, but maybe chose not to acknowledge or even respond or even say hi. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. It's another course day, so it's a bit interrupted, but yeah.